Welcome into Falcons Today, following Atlanta's 6-point loss to the Commanders, 19-13. And Marcus Mariota threw the worst interception of his Falcons career so far at the goal line with an opportunity to tie the game an extra point away from taking the lead late in the fourth quarter, the final minutes, and instead it is a Kendall Fuller interception to essentially seal the win after a running into, roughing the punter, whatever you want to call it, after the Falcons defense made a nice stop and used all their timeouts. But we're going to run through some stats. We're going to run through some highlights of this game. Plus, I've got my takes coming out of this one. But I think the first takeaway is it's not even so much about what happened at this game. It's the fact that the Buccaneers lost to the Browns today, and Atlanta had an opportunity to gain some ground, right? To make up some ground in the NFC South, and they blow not a lead, but an opportunity. And an opportunity that you couldn't afford to miss on. Because not often in the NFL are you in the last minute of the game at the opposing team's goal line when you have rushed the football for over 150 yards and you throw a very costly goal line interception. To some not credit, but to some alleviation of pressure for Mariota, it was tipped by Daron Payne. Kendall Fuller came down with it. But nevertheless, it's a bummer, and you didn't learn from the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Run the football. That's been your bread and butter all year, Arthur Smith. I mean, you have done it so well, it's not even just one workhorse. I mean, no one for the Falcons today had over 60 rushing yards. Yet you finished with 167 rushing yards by committee, right? Tyler Allgeier, Cordarrelle Patterson, Marcus Mariota, Caleb Huntley, for crying out loud. Everyone was contributing. And the fun part about it was they weren't just 3 or 4 yard rushes. I mean, they were picking up chunks of change, right? You had some long rushes, 15, 16, 17 yard rushes for Patterson, Allgeier, and Mariota. You were bruising for a cruising, right? You were moving down the field, no problem. And then you decide to zig when you should have zagged, and you should have just stuck with what was working, and that was running the football. With this guy out of BYU, his alma mater, got David Shaw fired. Rest in peace. 11 carries, 54 yards, no touchdowns, but he had a long of 15. You had this Falcons ground game picking up some good chunks of yards here and there with Patterson and Mariota, like I said. And at the end, it's not that I hate going a different direction because the defense expects one thing and you want to catch them off guard. But do you have a quarterback in Mariota who you can confidently say will always make the right decision? No. That's why he got ran out of Tennessee. That's why he was a backup in Vegas, right? Don't let the ball be in his hands for him to make a potential screw up. No. Give it to Patterson. He's all reliable. He's going to get you into the end zone. So, listen, no matter what happens, we bring Falcons fans recaps after every single game. So don't miss a thing when you subscribe to the channel. Hit that big red button and join one of the fastest growing Falcons community on YouTube when you subscribe to Falcons Today. But like we've been talking about, the main attraction of this recap today is Marcus Mariota. 15 for 25, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Now, I don't want to make this a full Desmond Ridder show. Now, Arthur Smith has said, hey, as long as we are in the playoff hunt, we're not benching Mariota, which I do understand because, hey, you don't turn to your locker room and say, I know you guys are competing and we're right there in the thick of the division, but I'm going to bench our starting quarterback because I want to know what we have in Ridder. It doesn't send the best message. It's a pretty risky gamble. But at the same time, why can't Ridder do this, right? Ridder is very capable, in my opinion, of putting up the same type of numbers Mariota is. So I don't think it's that big of a step back at all if it is. And you get to learn about Desmond Ridder. Find out if he is a potential quarterback for the future. You want to wait till you're eliminated from playoff contention? Here's a newsflash for you, Arthur Smith. This is something you want to hear. You're not going to be until it's very late in the year. So you're going to find something out about Ridder in week 17 or 18 and go into the offseason wondering, I don't know what we have at quarterback. I know we don't have a long-term answer with Mariota. I don't know what we have in Ridder. And we're going to turn to the draft maybe? Or you could find out what Ridder is, good or bad, and prioritize your draft needs that way. Now, we're going to get to more highlights and stats and recaps in just a moment, but this Falcons Commanders recap is being sponsored by Kamikoto. So, Kamikoto makes great Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques that have been honed and perfected by generations of knife smiths. The knives come in a heavy-duty ash wood box, which makes it a great gift this holiday season. Each knife is individually inspected, and so they are confident in their product that they can come with a lifetime guarantee. Kamikoto knives are carefully polished. Both blade and handles are satin finish, making them smooth as silk. They are wickedly sharp and perfect for slicing meats and vegetables to prepare for an amazing meal on every Falcons game day. Kamikoto knives are used by Michelin star chefs all over the world, and they are having a huge holiday sale right now. Plus, my viewers, well, they can get an extra $50 off any purchase and free shipping with discount code CHAT. Go to kamikoto.com/chat to get your knives set today and help support our channel. The link in the comments and the description of today's show. Thank you very much, Kamikoto, for sponsoring this edition of Falcons Today by Chat Sports. All right, more of a recap from this one here. Like I said, Falcons falling by 6 to the Commanders. Taylor Heinicke is 5-1 as the Commanders' starting quarterback. Give credit where credit is due. These were two teams that, going into the year, myself included, no one had super high expectations for. No one probably thought they'd win more than 5 games, maybe even combined 6 games. Instead, the Commanders are rocking and rolling. The Falcons have not been an easy out all year long. They have given teams 4 quarters of their best football and have brought teams to their knees and had a handful of wins against unexpected opponents. But Taylor Heinicke, the guy is just the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. He comes off the bench, and he is the guy no one wants to face until kickoff comes. Because then maybe you try to lull yourself into, oh, Heinicke, no big deal. Michael Walker had a nice interception today, but Heinicke, this offense for Commanders, I mean, Bijan Robinson, he ran all over. Brian Robinson, I'm thinking of Bijan Robinson from somewhere else. Brian Robinson, Texas. I knew I mixed that up. Brian Robinson, he rushed for over 100 yards today. 176 yards on the ground for Washington, 138 through the air for Heinicke, 314 total yards, 5 of 12 on third down. And in the penalty department, Riverboat Ron, his crew was pretty well disciplined. Only 4 penalties for 28 yards. That brings us to Scary Terry, who the Falcons secondary, which has been a roller coaster, we'll say, all season long, did a pretty good job of holding on to number 17 and not letting him take over the game. Just 6 targets, 4 receptions, 48 yards. I mean, those are the types of numbers that if I tell you pregame, hey, that's the final stat line for McLaurin, you're going to feel pretty good about your chances going into this game. And without Kyle Pitts this season, or this game for the rest of the season most likely, how about Zacchaeus? Nearly 100 yards for him through the air today, or receiving. He was fan-freaking-tastic, and that was great to see. Drake London also made some nice big plays throughout the game as well. But be honest with me. There is a lot of negativity out there right now. I am going to say no. But I do want you guys to voice your opinion in the comment section. Is the Falcons season over with this loss? The reason why you can maybe go that way, is you've lost a key tiebreaker to the Commanders now. And you lost an opportunity to take over the NFC South with the Bucs losing in overtime. By the way, you guys will like this. Tom Brady had never lost a game in which he was leading by a touchdown with less than a minute to go in his entire NFL career. The Cleveland Browns ended that streak for him today. But one last time, the final score from Landover, Maryland, 19-13, Commanders over the Falcons. Marcus Mariota with an extremely costly interception, a game-sealing pick by Kendall Fuller. It really pretty much, even though there was the penalty on the punt, but still the pick put the game away for the Commanders. So that is your final right there. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, making us a part of your Sunday. We're going to sign off. We're going to see you later on this week, though, for more Falcons news and rumors leading into NFL Week 13. Where's the season gone? Gone by too fast.